Hello, everybody. Whoever's watching me, I guess we got another video here because I managed to finish up the repairs on that end over by the chimney. You can see out in the distance that they've all been oil-based primered where the bare wood was showing, and then it's set up so that my painter can follow behind me. So everything basically painted in gray got work done over there. Just using a lesser or a colored primer because it's easier to cover than the white oil base with this dark mocha color that we got coming on here later. And even on the lower bay or the lower windows, the casings got repaired or replaced. So then same thing on this little window down here. It's got two new side casings, and then I also filled all the other old nail penetrations with Pro Bond wood fill. So we can sand that out later, and then that's ready to get painted too. So I'm trying to stay ahead of what's coming behind me. So then this is mostly for the assessment on this other side. I'm to the right of the entryway now. Here's that super awesome arched stone window that leads to a bathroom on the other side. And then down below is the front door, which is also arched. It's kind of, just by looking at this, those stones are not what would be a facade feel stone. They're pretty large on the top of that arch. And so, yeah, I mean, it was the real deal when the masons put this thing together, I think. It's a lot cheaper nowadays, if you were going to do a big radius entryway like this, to probably make it out of wood framing first, and then just do a 2-inch layer of just half stone, a facade. God, that is just excellent. Then there's a wrought iron, little thing here. And you'll notice too on that masonry work that for that middle of that arch, the keystone is these slate chunks put in vertical. So it makes it look like there's like an actual... Man, is that cool. Anyway, so for the purpose of this video though, just to keep it short, I'm going to show you... I started doing the demo on this side for the parts that are rotted out. Okay, this casing on the right is probably going to get replaced the whole way. And those side pieces, like in the previous video, got to get remade. So I just pulled out all the old, just basically getting it ready for remanufacture day. This, on the inside corner of this, where the radius meets, radius comes in right there, and it's a very tough place to get into. But then this whole outside corner is getting replaced too. So I pulled all that out today. And down here, I will climb down a layer here on my scaffolding. One level. I just wanted to get this in the video too because it's so neat. So it's the same deal, same sort of water table, and then I don't know if you would call this a frieze, and then the crown molding is under here. And then I've already done the demo on this corner where the pieces were rotten. I've cut them back. Okay, and there's that quarter round under there. I've cut all this off so that tomorrow I can begin remanufacture of those pieces and get them in there secured. Probably start doing install then. And some pretty more interesting things. I mean, this might not interest everybody, but it's kind of neat to me. So this is an area right here where I'm going to do a Dutch splice on the bottom. Right here. And what this is showing me is that on this level right here, this is a copper that was laid in there underneath before the brickwork got done. And probably before these studs got put in, these two studs go all the way up to secure this to, and also because the masonry, the mortar is still in there packed in up against it. You know, it's such a non-conventional style to build. That means that these were here. Okay, you see how they packed that mortar in up against that stud? That means that this was framed out. And it was probably, you know, just hanging here, and then the cavities were empty for maybe 2 months. Then they came back and did their masonry work. You know, and it's just like I said, like today they would just do wood framing construction, you know, close up to it and put a brick facade on, because this real brick is so expensive and time consuming for the masons to build that all the way up. But I'm like, that is almost like a New England post and beam house then at that point, you know. And the other thing that was, I mean, it's super cool, like, don't get me wrong, like, this is like the real deal. Like, they're not doing facades or anything. They did this thing like a fort. And like in here, this water table with it has the angle on it, you know, so the water comes down. Well, guess what? That's in there behind that brick. So that's telling me that this whole thing got built, okay, like they did the lower brick, then they slapped this on there, then they put that piece in there deep enough to go behind the brick, because it's what it all sits on. Then they frame this, like they were stick framing this thing up, the pieces more like just like a guide for the masonry. Oh geez, it's just an awesome house. And I'm such a carpenter dork that I just find this really cool. So I did the same thing on this water table as we did on the other previous video. I cut this back today to remanufacture that much of it all the way, and we'll get that to rebuild on the corner. So there you go. I guess there's my video. And like I said, you know, I love this stuff when I find stuff like this, and then I'm like trying to sort of reverse engineer it, you know, of how they did it in my mind. And I'm like, this is just an epic fortress is what it is. Super strong. Anyway, thanks all.